With Justin Welby resigning, who is going to be the next Archbishop of Canterbury? Hi, welcome to the channel. My name is Rev Dan. I'm a vicar in the Church of England. On this channel, you get all my views as a parish priest on all the Christian news happening in the world today. Subscribe to the channel, like the video, comment down below, and don't forget to hit that notification bell. Head over to my Substack where I put extra content over there, and if you want to support this channel, you can do that as well. So Justin Welby resigned this week, and very quickly, there was speculation who is going to be the next Archbishop of Canterbury. And when I say very quickly, I think the Telegraph at 4:43 on the same day that he resigned put out an article, Runners and Riders, who will be the next Archbishop of Canterbury. And over the next couple of days there's been speculation about who are the front runners to be the Archbishop of Canterbury. This is my video about this. It's totally unscientific. You know, we don't know who will be the next Archbishop at Canterbury. There's lots of speculation out there. But just on my unscientific research of putting into Google who's going to be the next Archbishop of Canterbury, taking the articles that were up to date from that first results page and then going through, totting up the numbers with all the people mentioned. This is my unscientific research and published results into who is going to be the Archbishop of Canterbury next year. They're saying the process will take about 6 months, and interestingly, on the government website, which has been updated just today, it tells us the process. So the Crown Nominations Commission is established to identify and submit the name of a preferred candidate to the Prime Minister, who is constitutionally responsible for advising the King on the appointment. He has no active role in the decision. We are told the Crown Nominations Commission, which is CNC for short, is comprised of a chair, who's a layperson, who is appointed by the Prime Minister, a bishop to be elected by the House of Bishops, the Archbishop of York, or if he chooses not to be a member of the CNC, a further bishop to be elected by the House of Bishops, 3 representatives elected from the Diocese of Canterbury by the Vacancy and See Committee, because the Archbishop is also obviously the Bishop of Canterbury, and so they have a say. The 6 representatives, 3 clergy and 3 laity, elected by the General Synod to serve as members of the Commission for a 5-year period, and 5 representatives from other churches in the Anglican Communion, 1 each from Africa, the Americas, Middle East, Asia, Oceania, and Europe. It goes on to say the General Secretary of the Anglican Communion, the Prime Minister's Appointment Secretary, and the Archbishop's Secretary for Appointments are non-voting members of the Commission. Before the Commission meets, the Church of England will lead a consultation process to determine the needs of the diocese, the Church of England and the Anglican Communion. The Commission will then meet to agree its processes and review candidates. Since 2007, the Prime Minister has accepted the CNC's recommended candidate and tendered their name to the monarch. The CNC may also submit the name of a second appointable candidate should it be not possible to appoint the first candidate. Once the King approves of the chosen candidate, the Prime Minister's office will announce the name of the Archbishop designate. Further details on timescales will be announced in due course. So I think there is speculation that it'll be 6 months, and I think because we have a General Synod in February and July, that they'll want to get an Archbishop in by this July General Synod for sure. We all know, and I've spoken on this channel a lot before, next year the General Synods are quite huge, with this Living and Loving Faith process, standalone services coming in, and what that would look like, a 3-year trial period, what that looks like, and also the allowing of same-sex clergy to be allowed to get married in civil ceremonies. So it is quite huge. And now, because of Justin Welby's resignation, a new Archbishop. I know there's been speculation out there online of absolutely nothing about me being the Archbishop, and I will not be the Archbishop. I can announce that like if I would ever be. But the process for the Archbishop is not people to apply, and I get that. They are actually invited, and people might say, well, why are they inviting people? Well, could you imagine if they advertised it, how many applications they would get? It would be just ridiculous to go through. So they got their criteria, they meet and they'll look at the candidates. It's usually a bishop, and so we're looking at the House of Bishops. We know from an Orthodox point of view in the Church of England, both evangelical and Anglo-Catholic, that the House of Bishops is quite liberal, or majority liberal. And my hope is that we will get someone who's more Orthodox, because the Archbishop of York supports LLF, and it would balance out. If they are striving for one church, a united church, to have, again, as we've just had with Justin Welby and Stephen Cottrell, two supporters of same-sex blessings and even marriage, then that isn't balanced, is it, for the Church of England? Where does it leave us as Orthodox clergy? So it'd be great if they will have an Orthodox Archbishop, but we will wait and see. Will that be accepted? There's many players in this as well. So you've got the CNC, which has comprised the 6 representatives, as I said, of 3 clergy and 3 laity, elected by the General Synod. Now, they are already in place, so they're not going to be chosen at the General Synod. They're already in place. But who, out of those who have already been elected, will be allowed on? Will it be a balance, again, of Orthodox and liberal? Again, I hope that will be the case, because we don't want it, well, let's be honest, from our point of view, Orthodox CNC members would be absolutely brilliant. Liberal, absolutely not. But I'm sure the Liberals are saying that as well, but vice versa, of course. The process, I can only imagine, has started. But let's get into what the different papers are saying. So the ones that came up on the search were the Telegraph, the Guardian, Yahoo News, the Independent, the New York Times, the Standard, the Spectator, and also I looked at the odds. Obviously, they're not taking any bets at the moment, but there was this site, olbg.com, and as they say on there, as bookmakers currently aren't taking bets on this event, odds have been compiled as theoretical probability from an entertainment perspective only, and come from an industry expert. So we'll get onto the odds as early as they are today. So I'm not going to go through each of the papers on who they had, but I'm going to go the number of times that they were mentioned from 1 till the top runners. It'd be quite interesting, because these top runners are way far ahead of the chasing pack. So first of all, we got Mark Tanner, Bishop of Chichester, who got 1 mention. Rose Hudson Wilkin, Bishop of Dover, who got 1 mention. Ellen Ann Hartley of Newcastle got 1 mention. Remember, she's the one who stood up and said that Archbishop Welby should resign over the Makin report. So those are 3 who have 1 mention. Then we got another 4 bishops who have got 2 mentions on there. And so we got Michael Beasley, Bath and Wells, Rachel Trevick of Bishop of Gloucester, Severin Mullally, Bishop of London, who oversaw last year the LLF process for General Synod, and Paul Williams, Southwell and Nottingham was also on 2 mentions. A mixture of Orthodox and Liberal there. Then we go on to 1 person with 3, and this will always be speculation, because he's the Archbishop of York, and the Archbishop of York moving over to the Archbishop of Canterbury. So Stephen Cottrell got 3 mentions. But then we have this massive gap. The next 3 in all of those articles that have been out in the papers have got 8 mentions. You could say these are the front runners. Graham Usher of Bishop of Norwich, Gooley francis-dehqani, Bishop of Chelmsford, and Martin Snow, obviously Bishop of Leicester, who is leading at the moment the LLF process in General Synod. And on the entertainment only odds by the industry expert put out on this website, all links are down below, by the way, if you want to check out some of those news stories. We have in 5th place at 5-1, well, joint 5th actually, at 5-1, Stephen Cottrell and Martin Snow. So it's 16.7% probability of them becoming the next Archbishop of Canterbury. At 25%, so 3-1 is Graham Usher, 2-1 with a 33.3% Rachel Trevick, and the front leader is Guli francis-dehqani, odds 1-1, 50% probability of being the next Archbishop of Canterbury. But the next Archbishop of Canterbury also has a job to do in being known out there. You would think that Justin Welby, quite a lot in the media, would be known. But this poll by YouGov asking 5,856 adults on the 12th of November, the day that he resigned, asked this question. They said, do you have a favourable or unfavourable opinion of Justin Welby? Now, very favourable 2%, somewhat favourable 4%, neutral 21%, somewhat unfavourable 13%, and very unfavourable 18%. So that's not good in itself. A lot of work to do there for the next Archbishop of Canterbury, but listen to this one. Not heard of, 42%. So that's just under 2,500 people who had not heard of Justin Welby as the Archbishop of Canterbury. And then his popularity, did they have a favourable opinion of him, was very low indeed as well. So there's a lot of work for the next Archbishop of Canterbury to be known, and to be known for upholding the principles of the Christian faith and getting that out there, bringing hope and the gospel message to England once again with the work of the bishops and the clergy and the laity. These are the frontrunners. They're all around the same age, so there's speculation that the next Archbishop would be under 60, so they have enough time to get through change, and there's got to be a lot of change. The church that they are inheriting is utterly divided, both the Church of England over the LLF with the Alliance pushing for a de facto province should things keep carrying on this trajectory of allowing standalone same-sex blessings, and also allowing same-sex clergy to enter into civil marriages. It's also split across the Anglican communion as well, and I'm sure the Anglican communion will have a lot to say about the next Archbishop of Canterbury. If you remember, Justin Welby was in a way sacked as the first amongst equals and the leader of the Anglican communion over the direction of the Church of England. So out of these three bishops, I don't know who you would be happy with. Graham Usher and francis-dehqani would not be the ones that Orthodox would be voting for. That many would be split over Bishop Martin Snow as well, because he has voted in favour of LLF entering into the Church of England. So what would the reaction be? Again, around not just the Church of England and the Orthodox and the Church of England, but across the Anglican communion. If these three were the front runners, like I said, we just don't know. They will draw everything together, the CNC, and then look around at who might be suitable to apply. Then there's a whole process. There's 17 people on this interview panel. It is quite huge. When I went for my interview, it was a 3-day process to become a priest in the Church of England. We called it a BAPA, Bishops Advisory Panel. There was a person there who was on the Archbishop of Canterbury's interview panel, and he was saying, it's so intense. They got 17 people who interview in this one person, and they got to answer all these questions, deal with all these people. That in a sense it's good training, as it were, because that's what they are going to do in as the Archbishop of Canterbury in the real world, but quite an intense process. So it's not just are they suitable, will they crack under that intensity as well, and also the legacy of Archbishop of Justin Welby to bring a fractured Church of England and Anglican communion back together. Can it be done? It's going to be a hard job, because I think we're further down the road of that split. I don't think it could come back. There are many people out there will be waiting to see who will be the front runners. We'll see that as the time goes on. Like I said, this is absolutely unscientific. This is just taking articles from people who are speculating, but it won't be till a bit further down the line that we will start seeing who could be and their qualities. And when we get there, there'll be a more in-depth video to look at that. But those are the front runners: Graham Usher of Norwich, Goody Francis-dehqani of Chelmsford and Martin Snow of Leicester. We'll see as we get into the new year if the papers were right.